Welcome back to the IBFP. Here's your host, Boxing New.
Welcome back, fight fans. Welcome back. It's the champ versus the fraud. Look, let's just break it down. Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Tank Davis will never happen. That fight will never take place. And let me just bring you back to a statement from Shakur Stevenson most recently, where he stated that Gervonta Tank Davis is a beast. I think if me and him ever wind up at the same weight, it'll be a hell of a fight later down the line. I think that's a big fight. I think it would be a pretty good and interesting fight. I think it'll be pretty big. I think it'll attract a lot of eyes and get a lot of publicity. I think people would love to tune into that type of fight. And like I say, it's the champ versus the fraud. You also see that Leonard Hot Dog Nose Ellerby has come out and stated that Shakur Stevenson is an excellent fighter. Tank is fighting Leo at 130 next. And, you know, Tank is the cash cow at 130 and 135 pounds. Everybody can get in line. So, you know, we got to debunk the hot dog nose right away with that nonsense. He basically, you know, came out and said that Tank Davis is a cash cow at 130 and 135 pounds. He's no cash cow, but when he misses weight, he's simply just a cow. And let me break it down. Gervonta Tank Davis, in his last fight against Yuriorkis Gamboa, only peaked at 604,000 viewers on Showtime. You didn't even get 1 million views, and yet your fight wasn't on pay-per-view. I could understand if the fight was on pay-per-view. It's hard in this market, you know, all of these things. This fight wasn't on pay-per-view. This fight was not on pay-per-view, and you only could get 604,000 views? 604, that's garbage truck juice for a guy that's claiming to be a cash cow. He is no cash cow. He's far from a cash cow. He's simply just a cow. And also, you know, this is what I mean by Gervonta Stank Davis, Gervonta Cheeseburger Davis, Gervonta Lion Davis. And this is why, you know, the Shakur Stevenson versus Tank Davis fight will never happen. And let me break it down. Gervonta Tank Davis called out Vasyl Lomachenko, stating that it's time that the fight happened. The fight never happened. He never looked in his direction. Simple as that. He's been ducking Lomachenko for the longest amount of time, but simply calling his name for clout. You see that Gervonta Tank Davis don't want to fight anybody significant. You see Gervonta Tank Davis even called out Manny Pacquiao. Did that fight ever come to fruition? Did that fight ever happen? Absolutely not. You see Gervonta Tank Davis called out Josh Taylor at 140 pounds and even was so bold to say that he could stop him. Josh Taylor at 140 and Tank Davis is obviously delusional. Did that fight ever happen? Not at all. Tank Davis even called out Tevin Farmer. Never happened. You notice that Tank Davis has a pattern of calling people out and never fighting them. Gervonta Stank Davis, Gervonta Cheeseburger Davis is simply not interested in fighting the best fighters there is. Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Tank Davis, you know, if you see these two guys matched up right now, you could see simply that Shakur Stevenson would wash him. And I'm gonna be honest, because Shakur Stevenson has the IQ, has the footwork, has the skill set to outthink and outmaneuver Gervonta Tank Davis. You got to think about it. A guy like Gervonta Tank Davis, when he fought a guy like Yuriorkis Gamboa, I mean, this guy's a 40-year-old washed fighter that's extremely chinny. So then you get this guy in a ring with Tank Davis and they go 12 rounds. That's disgusting. And this is a guy that tore his Achilles early in the fight. So why is this guy still lingering around? It makes no sense. Look, at the end of the day, Gervonta Tank Davis is one of the biggest frauds and hype jobs in the sports of boxing. He's being protected and held back, and he's also choosing that route. Because at the end of the day, fighting Leo Santa Cruz is not going to improve your skill set. It's not going to make you a pound-for-pound fighter. It's not going to make you a better fighter. Look at all the fighters at 135 pounds right now that would be great matchups with Tank. Vasyl Lomachenko, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia. You know, you see all of these guys, Teofimo Lopez, and yet he's not fighting any of them. He's not looking to fight any of them. He's wanting to go back down and wait to fight a guy like Leo Santa Cruz. Who wants to see that? It makes no sense. Stylistically, it's not going to improve him as a fighter, especially after the performance we saw against a guy like Yuriorkis Gamboa. Tank Davis is delusional, and anybody that believes he'll fight anybody of note is absolutely delusional. He's a protected hype job and a fraud. But once again, unbiased as always, it's the IBFP.